Okay, trade recap. So today I took a win. So let me go over it. And here we can see that on the daily time frame, yesterday we swept this swing high right here. And on the 4 hour, I did not actually see this at the moment, but we did have a tiny 4 hour fair value gap right here. Very small, not something I would want to trade off of, but it was there. But my original bias going into today was that since we were respecting this swing high, but we are still rejecting off of a monthly fair value gap here, which we have to take into account. So I did not expect price to come all the way down to these lows. It could happen, who knows? But that was not my expectation. And also, of course, this would not happen all during London, but uh, this week. But I was expecting price to potentially trade into this 4 hour fair value gap, overlapping with this order block. Since we were expecting this, we could expect a deeper retracement to then continue higher if price desires to do so. But here, when London opened, we could see quite fast that price did not want to trade lower straight away. It wanted to hunt buy side liquidity here. We could actually see that here extremely clear right at the London Open that we had here. Also low resistance liquidity run here. This was an unprotected 1 hour swing high. Since the 1 hour value gap here was prevented, it never got created, which then made this the target for me when we had 15-minute displacement higher. It's the same thing here. Before we came into this 15-minute value gap, we were respecting this swing high. So what I was expecting, I did not enter on this was a trade. I did not, because price stung into the fair value gap here. Yes, we did have the ST here, the fair value gap in, the fair value gap out. But since price was respecting this swing high here and was encountering a premium array and also respected it for a short period of time, we came in with a lot of momentum, causing uncertainty in price, because now we overall had a 50-50 area here, which I did not really like. And when that happens, and when we do respect the premium array to come into this discount array, then I do not want to enter off of purely an ST. I would want to wait for more confirmation, which in this case was on 50 minutes the previous candle sweep, which usually leads to an accurate entry, because since we respected this, we came down, then we sweep again just to take liquidity and then continue higher. And from there, when we had this big move higher, because if we was continuing lower, then this swing low now becomes a mitigation block or an overall breaker, I mean here. So we should continue lower from that, overlapping with this fair value gap, but we just rejected it, then we continued through it, creating bullish fair value gaps. So from there, my bias shifted, and I now knew that price was hunting liquidity in the form of firstly these highs and also these highs, but I wanted to make sure that I was break even when these highs got taken. So eventually we also got the here, we had the ST here, then we came into that fair value gap, respected it, created new fair value gaps. My entry was in this fair value gap, but I got filled here, so the fill was not the best. I covered this swing low, or almost, because that would be the last line of defense on the 1 minute time frame, and also on the 5 minutes, since we did not have a 5 minute value gap below that. We did have one here, a breakaway gap, and when we then had this 5 minute value gap created, I was break even, because now price should not come and stop me out before at least reaching these highs. And when we reach these highs, we should create an overlapping for value gap on any time frame. In this case it was the 1 minute, to then continue higher towards the draw liquidity there. So that was my thought process. Also, this 50-minute value gap, and the reason I used it was that it was because it was created during London session, so it was in current order flow. And another confluence was that it was not a standalone for value gap, but it was also an order block overlapping with it. So that gave me more confidence in this PD array holding. So for value gap with the order block and a previous 50-minute candle sweep with this wick close, that to me was enough confluences for me to enter, take a 1 minute entry and target the upside. And yeah, that was the trade. Or before I end this line, let me just go over why I marked that out. Because here on the 5 minute, we had this 5 minutes for value gap, was created before London Open. Then during London Open, we came into that, we created new 5 minute value gaps, confirming 5 minute order flow. And then this, like right here, yes, it's a 5 minute liquidity pool, but it's also the 5 minute last line of defense, which means that if we do not sweep this but run this, we continue higher, or lower I mean. So this, if we want to continue higher, should be an area we sweep and not run. So that was also another confluence for me to target these highs.